Hello everyone, I'm so happy you could come to Reading Corner today because I've got some really fun books for you. So my friend Julie loaned me some of her books on Hairy Maclary, and I've got some other friends that have loaned me some other books. So out of those today we have Hairy Maclary and Zachary Quack. And it's about when Hairy Maclary wants to have an afternoon snooze, but Zachary Quack, a little duckling, wants to play. Then we have the famous Dr Seuss book, Hop on Pop. And this is the book that I used when I was teaching my children how to read. So if you like, you can sit and read along to see the words and sound them out yourselves. And in fact, if you want to watch this video again and turn my sound off, you can read it by yourselves. And then my final book is from the Mr. Men series, and it's called Mr. Jelly. And poor Mr. Jelly is scared of absolutely everything. And then we'll find out what happens one day when he goes for a walk. So let's start with Zachary Quack and Hairy Maclary. It was drowsily warm, with dozens of bees lazily buzzing through flowers and trees. Hairy Maclary decided to choose a space in the shade for his afternoon snooze. He dozily dreamed as he lay on his back when, pittery-pattery, skittery-scattery, zip, round the corner came Zachary Quack, who wanted to frolic and footle and play, but Hairy Maclary skedaddled away. Over the lawn and asparagus bed went Hairy Maclary to hide in the shed. He lurked in the shadows, all dusty and black, but pittery-pattery, skittery-scattery, zip, round the corner came Zachary Quack. Out of the garden and into the trees jumped Hairy Maclary with springs in his knees. He hid in the grass at the side of the track, but pittery-pattery, skittery-scattery, zip, round the corner came Zachary Quack. Down to the river, through willow and reed, raced Hairy Maclary at double the speed. Into the water he flew with a smack, but pittery-pattery, skittery-scattery, zip, round the corner came Zachary Quack, who dizzily dived in the craziest way, whirling and swirling in showers of spray. Hairy Maclary was off in a flash, a flurry of bubbles, a dog paddle splash. He swam to the side and floundered about. He tried and he tried, but he couldn't climb out, scrabbling upwards and slithering back when, pittery-pattery, skittery-scattery, zip, through the water came Zachary Quack, who sped round a corner and, showing the way, led Hairy Maclary up, up and away. Then, soggy and shivering back up the track, went Hairy Maclary with Zachary Quack. It was drowsily warm, with dozens of bees lazily buzzing through flowers and trees. Hairy Maclary decided to choose a place in the shade for his afternoon snooze. He dozily dreamed as he lay on his back, tucked up together with Zachary Quack. The end. So, Hairy Maclary wanted to snooze, Zachary Quack wanted to play, and I think in the end, they both had a little bit of a play and then a snooze, which is a good way to do it, isn't it? So now we have Hop on Pop. I'm going to read this nice and slowly for you so you can read along and see if you can sound out the words as I read them. And maybe you want to rewind this and turn the sound off and try it yourselves, because Dr. Seuss makes very good reading books, doesn't he? Okay, here we go. Up, pup, pup is up. Cup, pup, pup, in cup. Pup, pup, cup on pup, mouse, house, mouse on house, house, mouse, house on mouse, all tall, we all are tall, all small, we all are small, all ball, we all play ball, all wall, up on a wall, all fall, fall off the wall, day, play, we play all day, night, fight, we fight all night, he, me, he is after me, him, Jim, Jim is after him, C, B, we see up B, C, B, 3, now we see 3, 3, tree, 3 fish in a tree, fish in a tree, how can that be? Red, red, they call me red, red, bed, I am in bed, red, Ned, Ted and Ed in bed, Pat, Pat, they call him Pat, Hat, sat, hat, sat on hat, 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 sat on cat, hat, bat, hat, sat on bat. No, Pat, no, don't sit on that. Sad, dad, bad, had. Dad is sad, very, very sad. He had a bad day. What a day Dad had. Thing, thing, what is that thing? Thing, sing, that thing can sing. Song, long, a long, long song. Goodbye, thing, you sing too long. Walk, walk, we like to walk. Walk, talk, we like to talk. Hop, hop, we like to hop. We like to hop on top of pop. Stop, you must not hop on pop. Mr. Brown, Mrs. Brown, Mr. Brown, upside down. Up, up, brown, down. Pup is down. Where is Brown? Where is Brown? There is Brown. Mr. Brown is out of town. Back, black, Brown came back. Brown came back with Mr. Black. Snack, snack, eat a snack. Eat a snack with Brown and Black. Jump, bump. He jumped, he bumped. Fast, past. He went past, fast. Went, tent, sent. He went into the tent. I sent him out of the tent. Wet, get. 2 dogs get wet. Help, yelp. They yelp for help. Hill, will went uphill. Will, hill, still. Will is uphill still. Father, mother, sister, brother. That one is my other brother. My brothers read a little bit, little words like if and it. My father can read big words too, like Constantinople and Timbuktu. Say, what does this say? See, he, me, we, pat, pop, pop, he, three, tree, bee, top, hop, stop. Ask me tomorrow, but not today. The end. I hope you liked that one. It's a fun one, especially when you're learning to read. Now, my last book is all about poor Mr. Jelly, who is scared of everything. And we're going to find out what happened one day when he went for a walk. Poor Mr. Jelly was frightened of everything and anything. At the slightest little thing, he would quiver and tremble and shake and turn to jelly. So it's not really surprising to find that Mr. Jelly lives as far away from anybody that he can find, in the middle of a wood, miles and miles from anywhere. This story begins one morning when Mr. Jelly was asleep. It was a beautiful autumn morning. The sun was shining. The leaves on the trees had turned to a glorious red, and the wind stirred gently in the treetops. A single leaf fell gently from the tree right outside Mr. Jelly's window, his house, and quietly brushed against his bedroom window as it fell. Mr. Jelly awoke with a start. "What's that terrible noise?" he cried. "Oh, heavens, the house is falling down. Oh, disaster, it's an earthquake. Oh, calamity, it's the end of the world." And he hid under the bedclothes, trembling with fright. After an hour, by which time he realized that his house wasn't falling down and there wasn't an earthquake and the world wasn't coming to an end, Mr. Jelly peeped out from under the bedclothes. "Phew," he said, "thank goodness for that." And he got up and went downstairs to make his breakfast. Mr. Jelly poured some cornflakes out of a packet onto a plate. Then he poured some milk onto the cornflakes. Then he went to the cupboard to get some sugar. Snap, crackle, pop went the cornflakes in the milk. "Oh, goodness gracious," cried Mr. Jelly, diving under the kitchen table. "Oh dear, I hear guns. Oh, calamity, it's a war." But of course it wasn't. And of course Mr. Jelly eventually came out from under the table and ate up all his cornflakes. After breakfast, Mr. Jelly thought that he'd go for a walk. He was walking through the woods which surrounded his house when a worm poked his head out of the ground. "Morning," said the worm cheerfully to Mr. Jelly, and Mr. Jelly nearly jumped out of his skin. "What?" he shouted. "Who's there?" And then he saw the worm. "Oh, good heavens, it's a snake. Oh dear, a man-eating snake. Oh, calamity, I'm going to be eaten alive." And he jumped up into a tree. "What a performance," commented the worm, and went back into his hole. After an hour, Mr. Jelly felt brave enough to climb down from the tree and continue his walk. Eventually, he came out of the other side of the wood and into a field. Mr. Jelly glanced nervously around. It was an empty field. Or was it? In the long grass in the middle of the field, unseen by Mr. Jelly, there was a tramp enjoying a sleep in the autumn sunshine. Mr. Jelly picked his way cautiously through the grass, and the tramp, fast asleep, snored. "What was that?" shrieked Mr. Jelly. It's a lion. I heard it growl. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, dear me, a lion, a huge lion. A huge lion with enormous teeth. A huge lion with enormous sharp teeth that's going to bite me in two. A huge, ferocious lion with enormous sharp teeth that's going to bite me in two, if not three. And he fainted. All this commotion awakened the tramp, who yawned, stretched, sat up, and saw Mr. Jelly lying on the ground beside him. Oh dear, he said, for he was a kindly tramp. Oh dear. And he picked up Mr. Jelly and placed him gently in the palm of his hand. Mr. Jelly came too and sat up rubbing his eyes. Then he saw the tramp's face looking at him. Oh, disaster, he screamed. Oh, calamity. It's a giant, an ogre. Oh, gracious, he is going to have me for breakfast. My, said the tramp gently. You're a nervous little chap, aren't you? What's your name? Mr. Jelly, stammered Mr. Jelly. I used to be nervous like you, said the tramp, but I learned how not to be. Would you like me to tell you the secret? Mr. Jelly quivered and shook and said, yes, please. It's very simple, continued the tramp. All you have to do is count up to 10, and you'll find that whatever's frightening you isn't quite so frightening after all. Then he set Mr. Jelly gently down on the grass. Remember, he said to Mr. Jelly, count to 10, and off he went. Mr. Jelly thought that it would be a very good idea if he went home immediately. Back across the field he went. Back through the woods he went. He was walking through the woods when he stepped on a little twig. Snap went the twig, and Mr. Jelly jumped twice his own height in terror. What was that? He shrieked. That terrible snapping noise. Oh, it's a tree that's going to fall down to crush me to pieces. Oh, calamity. It's a crocodile hiding in the bushes, snapping its teeth. Oh, disaster. And then he stopped. He took a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, he said. And then he saw that what had gone snap was a twig, a silly old twig. Phew, he said. Mr. Jelly had almost reached his house when a leaf drifted gently down from a tree on top of him. Help! Police! Murder! He screamed. I'm being kidnapped. Oh, calamity! It's ruffians with guns and they're going to... And then he stopped. He took a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then he saw what had fallen on him was only a leaf. Nothing but a leaf. A stupid red leaf. It works, he said out loud in wonderment. And you know, it did work. After that moment, Mr. Jelly became a changed man. Well, you can see that by looking at him, can't you? And he never shrieks or shouts or screams or quivers or shakes or trembles anymore. And he never hides under the bedclothes anymore. Well, not very often anyway. The end. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed these stories today because I really enjoy reading them to you. And I can't wait to see you again next time at Reading Corner. We'll have some more stories and maybe some more ones you can follow along and learn how to read yourselves, if that's where you're at, learning. Maybe you know how to read already and you can read ahead of me. Whichever is fine. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And until I see you next time, you take care. Bye-bye.